Hi, welcome to today's tutorial for the Merry Uke. Today we are going to learn how to tune your ukulele down. So why would you do that? Well, for me, I'll find some chord progression I really like for a song and chords that I know and it's easy for me, and I'm too lazy to learn a different progression that puts it in a different key. Kind of just want to play it where I found it, but it's too high. So you have a couple different options. You can use a capo. I'm sure there are mixed feelings about using a capo on a uke, but a capo will make it higher. So sometimes if it's like really high, you can maybe put a capo on it, get it a little bit higher, you could sing it an octave lower. And a capo, the way a capo works is you just play the same chords but relative to the capo instead of relative to the bottom of the instrument. So, or the top of the instrument. So like a C chord with the capo is your finger on the 3rd fret from the capo. But sometimes the capo can kind of get in the way, it can be tough. And again, that makes it higher, not lower. So sometimes it's high, you can make it high enough that you can bring it down and drop it down, but sometimes I just want to sing it lower, so I'll tune it down. So some basics for tuning, first of all, before we get into that. For the top 2 strings of your ukulele, when you turn the knobs away from you, that makes it higher. When you turn them towards you, it makes it lower. For the bottom 2 strings of your ukulele, the opposite is true. So for those 2 knobs, turning it towards you makes it higher. Turning it away from you makes it lower. So top 2, away from you makes it higher. Bottom 2, towards you. Turning towards you makes it higher. So to me, one of the most important things about a ukulele is that it's tuned to itself, so that all the strings sound good relative to each other. So I've come up with a little saying. It's really corny, but hopefully it helps you remember how to tune your ukulele, to itself in regular tuning, but especially if you're going to tune it down. And that's 5-4-5 from the top down makes you jive. Told you it was corny. What that means is this is regular tuning right now. G, C, E, A. If you put your finger on the 5th fret of the top string, 5 from the top down, so 5th fret of the top string, and you play the note, the string below it, those should be the same. One's high and one's low, but it's the same note. They sound good together. 5-4-5. On the next string, on the 4th fret, if you play that string and the string below it, they should be the same. And on the 3rd string down, 5-4-5, that and the string below it should be the same. So if you tune it that way, all the chords sound good. So let's say you're playing a song, it's too high, you want to tune it down. This is what I do. I start with this top string, and I just turn this towards me, and just get it lower. Now that sounds like an F. I'm going to test it with a piano. If you don't have a piano, I would still recommend using a tuning app just to make sure that you didn't make up some note that's like in between an E and an F. You want your ukulele to be tuned to actual notes. But once you get this top note tuned to, let's say, an F. Now I haven't tuned any other strings, so if I try to play a C chord, it's not a C chord. The way you can figure out how to tune your other strings is using 5-4-5 from the top down makes you jive. And that just means if we go to the 5th fret and play it, and now play the string below it, those are not the same. It's too high. So I'm going to go to this next string up, tune the 2nd string, and I'm just going to bring it down. I'm just going to guess. That's not right. We'll prove that it's not right. So 5. That's still too high. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more. That sounds nice. Let's see if we got it. Hey, those are the same. So now we've gotten this 2nd string about where we want it. Now, if it's still out of tune and it's hard for you to hear the difference and kind of tweak a knob like this to get it just right, you can use a tuning app now and figure out what this note is to be flat. But if you didn't know that, this would get you close enough. And now you can tune this so that it's an appropriate B flat. Let's do the 3rd string. Whew. So where does this 3rd string need to go? I don't know. 5, 4. So 4th fret on the 2nd string and the one below. Too high, clearly. So now I'm going to take this one and tune it away from. See if we got close. 4. That one sounds a little bit high. I'm going to bring it down a little lower. Let's see how we did. 4th fret. Sounds pretty good. Again, a tuning app with the tuning fork. You can now play this and it's probably going to pick up that that's a D. And it sounds a little high. I'm going to go ahead and bring it down. But again, now you know the note it's supposed to be. Still got this last one to tune, so 5, 4, 5. Now the third string on the 5th fret, that should be the same as the one below it. That one's higher. So we're going to bring that one down. Now finally our bottom string. Let's see how we did. 5, 4, 5. Hey, pretty good. That's a G now. But again, if you didn't know that, you could get close enough that you could use a tuning app. So let's see how we've done. Now you can hear it's still a little bit out of tune, so I will probably still kind of tweak it just by ear. At this point, you could use a tuning app and it would pick up each of those notes and you could get them just right. If it's still a little bit too high, do it again. Start with the top string. Bring it down, that sounds like a E flat. And we could tune the rest of the strings to close by doing 5, too high. And going through the process again, and now you've tuned it down again. And when it's time to tune it back up, do the same thing. You can find a G on your tuning app and tune back up to C, E, A, or you can try the relative. So 5. I hope that helps. That'll at least give you the right tools on your ukulele so that you know kind of how to identify whether or not it's in tune with itself. Happy playing!